Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jo and I make videos all about notebooks, planners, journaling, fountain pens and the like. So if that is something that you're interested in, please hit the subscribe button. It would be lovely to have you around. This week's video is going to be a little bit different. First of all, I'm not just talking to camera. I have filmed myself doing my morning pages. We'll get into the term morning pages a little bit further in the video, but I've been receiving quite a few, and by a few I mean 2 comments about my morning pages and how that fits within my Hobonichi cousin and my daily planning and daily journaling. And I thought it'd be a really good video to do because I won't lie, in the last couple of weeks I've really got into a good steady routine with morning pages, and I've actually completed a notebook. I had a Leuchtturm 1917 notebook that I completely completed, and I'm now moving into one of the beautiful Hobonichi lined notebooks with tomoe river paper, and it feels so good to be using the same paper across my 2 notebooks at the moment, which is really, really fun. So I thought what we'll do is we'll just have a nice relaxing chat. I'm going to give you some of my tips and the things that I've learned throughout this journey. And hopefully it might inspire you to give morning pages, in air quotes, a try for yourself and see if they work for you. So what do I want to start off with? Do you know what? Let's get into the lists and the tips. So I think the first thing that I would recommend anybody does, and the first thing that kind of really clicked for me when it comes to doing these sort of daily journaling pages, is understanding why you want to do this. This is journaling in addition to my actual journal. And I think for me, the main reason why I wanted to kind of start this practice is because my Hobonichi cousin is a day per page where I like to document what I did. And it kind of didn't give me any space to document how I was feeling or what was on my mind, my goals, my reflections, my really deep, honest feelings. I also share my pages online. I share my notebooks on social media, and I don't really want my deep inner personal thoughts to be on the internet, really. So, and I've always known about morning pages. I've watched multiple videos before. I know of quite a few people that do it within our journaling community. So I thought, I'll give it a go. I'll start writing 3 pages every single morning. It'll be fine. I'd love it. And that just didn't really stick, but I still needed that space to write. So I kind of decided to move on to what was my next tip, which is follow your own rules. And I just created my own rules. So I actually started off with using a 10-minute timer and just writing for 10 minutes every morning and just writing whatever came into my mind. And that really, really helped. And over time, sometimes what will happen is the timer will end, but I still had a lot of things that I wanted to write. So I just keep writing. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. There is there are no rules. And that really helped me because I think 3 pages just makes it seem like a chore, at least for me. I think some people probably find it really useful, but for me it just felt like, first of all, I don't have the time. I work 9 till 5. I don't have a freelance creative job, which is what I think, I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head, but I think that's what they intended this practice for, is people who are artists and have that time and space to do this journaling. I just don't have that. And secondly, it just felt less intimidating to kind of either put a constraint or a goal onto it. I think I just needed to write what I needed to say. And some days it's a lot, some days it's not a lot. Some days it's just a line where I'm just like, I don't have anything to say today. But I'll still sit there for a while to just see if there's anything that comes up. My third rule, no, I don't know if I've come up with 3 rules yet. My next kind of rule to myself is that it doesn't have to be in the morning. Some mornings I'm like, I've overslept, I need to get to work, and I just don't have time. So sometimes I will do it in the evening when I'm just sat watching TV. And one of the benefits of that is that usually in the evening when I'm watching TV, I will be scrolling on social media, and it kind of takes me away from that dual screening, scrolling kind of life, and puts me into a bit of a reflective mode. So sometimes I will do it in the evening, but the majority of the time I manage to do it in the morning. I think also my really good tip is to make it enjoyable. I know that this is completely optional. This is just something that's helped me. I really love decorating my pages. I find it makes them feel a lot less intimidating. So I like to use my stickers. I have washi tape, all sorts, and I like to kind of just place some stickers on the page, make it more inviting, and also it kind of uses up some of the space so that the space doesn't feel as intimidating. And it kind of just eases me into the practice rather than just opening my notebook and being like, boom, I need to write. It kind of just sits me down. It's especially when I'm using PET tape like I am in this video. I think that probably has been before I'm talking now. It's kind of meditative to cut the stickers out and place them down, and it kind of puts me in this really nice mindset for it. I also use always fountain pens. Fountain pens just make it feel a bit more special. It makes it feel a little bit more romantic in a way, even though I'm usually writing about all the stuff that I need to do and how annoyed I am that I still haven't done my laundry. It still feels more romantic. And I also like to mix around my fountain pen inks. And I think the other really important thing for me is having a really beautiful notebook. This is obviously not essential. You can use any notebook you want. You can use like a £1 spiral notebook from Tesco if that's what works for you. But for me, having a beautiful notebook that I know I'm going to keep forever just kind of helps invite me into that space a little bit better. Number 4 is probably the hardest advice. I've got all my terminology mixed up now. The tip number 4 is probably the hardest, and that for me was building it into my routine. I have managed to develop a really good daily journaling routine through my Hobonichi cousin. If you don't know what a Hobonichi cousin is, it essentially gives you a day per page, and it is a dated planner. So having that page dedicated to a day really encourages you to do daily journaling. And through that practice, I have managed to kind of turn up to my notebooks every single day, and it's become a habit. Whereas a blank notebook that doesn't have daily pages in it can be a little bit easier to skip because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you skip days in a dated planner, of course, but it does make it a little bit more free-flowing, which has its perks, but also its challenges. But I think having that built-up practice of turning up to my Hobonichi cousin every single day is kind of then enabled me to really kind of be able to do morning pages every single day. I'm not perfect. I do skip days, and I do wake up sometimes like, I really don't want to do it. I don't need to do it. But then I have found that the days where I have sat down and done that journaling, I've had a much better day because of it, because I've got everything out of my head. I've got it all down onto paper. I've been able to construct that knowledge, those thoughts in a little bit more of a structured way. I do have ADHD, so my brain runs about 120 miles per hour. I'm usually thinking about 5 things at once, and then all of a sudden my brain will be like, oh, we need to go and do this thing now, and I will go and do that thing, and I'll forget what I was thinking about. But what I've found through morning pages, and what I have to keep reminding myself, is that I can write at the same sort of speed that my brain is thinking, and then go through those thoughts and those notes that make no sense whatsoever and pull some sense out of them. So that kind of understanding of how it helps me in my day-to-day life drives me to show up, and that helps me with the routine. And I guess again, it always goes back to understanding why. If you have a really good reason to do something and you fully understand the outputs of that activity, it's going to make it so much easier to turn up. And I guess the last thing, and I know it's a really ridiculous thing, but it's also really important, is kind of like if you go to the gym in the morning, pack your bag the night before. And it's the same thing for me with morning pages. I'm finding that when I kind of clean my desk down at the end of the day, after I've done my Hobonichi pages, I'll open my morning pages on my desk and put my fountain pen on the page, so that all I need to do is sit down and it's there. And it's actually stopping me from doing anything else until I've interacted with that notebook. And it's usually just easier to just write a few things down and then move that notebook out of the way. That kind of helps when I remember to do it, of course. I also try to do my morning pages whilst I'm doing something else. So earlier when I said sometimes I'll do my morning pages in air quotes whilst watching TV in the evening, that is time that otherwise I would just be sat staring at a TV or scrolling Instagram, which I can then utilize for morning pages. And the great thing about morning pages is that you don't need a lot of brain energy. That's the kind of point of it. You just need to be able to write. And sometimes when your brain's really tired, it doesn't block those thoughts and those feelings and those ideas as much as when it's energetic. The other thing that I like to do if I'm doing it in the morning is, and you can probably see here in the video, is I will sit and eat my breakfast and catch up on YouTube whilst I'm doing my morning pages. I watch a lot of journaling videos, some of which are nice background noise for when I'm actually doing my own journaling, and maybe you're listening to this in the background whilst you're doing your journaling. If so, thank you. So yeah, I like to kind of multitask and do my morning pages whilst I'm doing other things. I can't really sit down and just do my morning pages. I have to have something going on in the background. And in fact, sometimes what I'll do is in the morning for me, at work, the first half an hour of the day is usually on stand-ups. So these are basically meetings where we will all show up and one person take it in turns to kind of go through the priorities for the day. And it's a 30-minute meeting and I only talk for about 2.5 minutes of it. So that's 25 minutes where everybody else is talking and I just need to listen passively and I can just do my morning pages whilst they're talking. So that's kind of useful. Number 5, this is something that really helped me when I first started doing morning pages. And I think it's because it can be very intimidating. And that is, journal prompts. I've been there before where you sit down and I'm like, I don't know what to write. I don't have anything to write, when actually you probably have a lot to write about. Journal prompts kind of help with that. I have a couple of journal prompts that I just have tucked in the back of my notebook. And to be honest, I just browse Pinterest for them. I'll be honest, just search journal prompts in Pinterest and you'll find hundreds of them. It just kind of helps if you can't really formulate an idea of what to write. I always write to my notebook as if my notebook's a friend and I'm confiding in them. I will always say, hello, did a journal? Wait, what do I write? Yeah, good morning journal, good evening journal. Just to kind of greet, I'm just looking at what I've written in here. Yeah, good morning journal. I am currently doing this and this is how I feel about it. It's a good way to just start because starting is the hardest thing. And then I guess the next tip is free flow is the only flow. The whole point of this journaling practice isn't to document what your memories, it isn't to come up with the most ingenious idea and really formulate those ideas. The whole point is to just drain your brain. And the whole point is just to kind of get those muddled thoughts out of your head so that you can start formulating them into some sort of constructive action or reflection or resolution. I hear a lot of people say that morning pages didn't work for them because they felt like everything they were writing about was negative. And my response to that is, well, that's why morning pages is really important, because you're getting that negativity out of your brain to free up space for positivity. And you know, I think we all go through really tough times and there are topics. I know for me, there is some stuff in my past that I really want to kind of get out of my brain and write about and overcome and kind of get some closure from that. And I'm very nervous about writing about it. I'm just scared. I don't want to do it. And I sit down every morning. I'm like, I must kind of write about this specific thing, but I avoid it. And someday I will write about it and it will just all blurt out. But this is the whole point of this practice, is it's like therapy. You've got to talk about it or write about it for it to then start coming out of your brain and off your chest and free yourself from it, if that makes sense. I'm obviously not a therapist or a psychologist, so all I know is what I've learned on YouTube and through my own therapist. And then the last tip, and this is probably the most important thing that I've learned, is reflection. So you can probably see on my pages that I draw margins, and on each side I do put stickers in there because, hey, I love stickers. But also what I would do at the end of my practice is I will reflect on what I've written about, and I will write notes to myself. So I will just kind of like call out different topics. If I've come up with an idea, I'll call that idea out. And then what I will do is when I start writing in my Hobonichi cousin, which is more of a, this is what I need to do today, this is what I've done today kind of notebook, I have those ideas and those thoughts formulated and quite clear to put in there so that they're really obvious for me. And that just kind of helps me kind of, first of all, set my intentions for the day, set the tone for the day, but also to kind of not have all of that clutter in my Hobonichi cousin, so that when I go back to my cousin in like 3-4 years time, I'm literally seeing my memories and a snapshot of my day without all of that clutter, which isn't going to be helpful. I hope that makes sense. So those are my 7 tips. I think just to summarize, the first one is understand why. Secondly, follow your own rules. Thirdly, make it enjoyable. The fourth one is make it part of your routine. Fifth one is have backup prompts. Number 6 is free flow is the only flow. And number 7 is reflection. So hopefully those tips that I've learned over the last couple of months of doing this practice will help you if you wanted to either enhance your practice or start doing daily pages. I keep saying morning pages and daily pages. I think it doesn't matter what time of day you do it, if that works for you. Morning's usually the best, but yeah, sometimes it doesn't happen in the morning. But yeah, I really hope that helps you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it really enjoyable, please give it a like and comment down below. Let me know if you've tried your morning pages and how you found it. And I will see you next week for a back to normal Hobonichi cousin flip through kind of video. I had to make this one quite short today because I have so much cleaning to do. Thank you, everyone. Bye.